Today we're at the Koppers Stickney facility in the south side of Chicago, Stickney, Illinois, and presently we're sitting down at the terminal area. The terminal area sits a little bit outside the plant. It sits alongside the sanitation canal of Chicago. There's a barge dock there, that's why the terminal is important to us. But at the same time, this is where our phytoremediation site is, and as you can see behind me, there's a lot of greenery and plant life that we're using to remediate this site. Phytoremediation it's a science term. It sounds a little complicated, but what it really is using plant life to work below the surface of the dirt and actually extract out any kind of contamination that may be in the dirt below those plants.
We started the phytoremediation project in 2015, and originally we were just trying to clean up the terminal. And in 2016, 2017, we started doing some work down here to knock the tanks down.
So I started in 2015 when at the phytoremediation project there was tanks down here. They were demoing them at the time. So I remember removing those tanks. They had excavation companies come in over the years. They brought in biosolids from MWRD.
We entered into a partnership with the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District here in Chicago, as well as one of the United States' most storied laboratories, Argonne Laboratory, through the Department of Energy to do this work.
We monitor the plants at the Stickney phytoremediation site. The dominant plants here are the native prairie grasses. There's also quite a lot of forbs or wildflowers that are also native to this area.
Prior to 1988, there was another company that was using the property as a terminal, and sometime between 1988 all the way back into the 20s, contamination ended up in the soil here.
You know, I can tell you from the years that I've been here, the area down here, there was no vegetation. Like, weeds wouldn't even grow here. We couldn't get weeds to grow here because the soil was so bad, and it didn't support any type of vegetation at all. Well, once we ground up the soil and we brought in the solids from the wastewater treatment plant, blended it in, you know, you can look behind me and see it's very different. We have vegetation everywhere. There's water. There's insect life and animal life.
And last year we've had the laborers help us, and we had auger help as well to plant the native trees of the Illinois area. So that's where we're at, and what you can see behind me is what's grown since I've started.
What I'm standing next to here is an oak tree. It's actually a bur oak, measuring about just over 2 feet tall.
Not only does it look nice, it's going down and it's breaking apart these organic contaminants that have settled over decades and decades.
The work that has been done by the plant is fantastic, and I'm really proud of that.
And yes, it's going very well. We do some qualitative observations of the plants, and twice a year we're doing a systematic quantitative evaluation of what's growing. There's a lot of roots down there.
I grew up in North Dakota. I like to see green spaces. I'm hoping eventually that we'll be able to have lunches down here.
There's a lot of great things that happen with plants. I mean, we can talk about climate change and the ability for a plant to pull carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. This certainly does that. It certainly cools off some of this area because we've dropped the asphalt that was here out of the picture. So it's a much more cooler area. So it really is right in the middle of the zero harm mentality and culture that we have at Koppers.